What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. On today's show, I'm going to get into some surprise cut candidates, not guys that we are all pretty confident that are not going to make this team, like guys that, okay, that would catch my attention, including a couple that I think would be pretty surprising if they were to go down. With minicamp and OTAs wrapped up, thought it'd be a good time to revisit this segment. Okay, we got daily videos all off season long. The Bears might be off for the next 5-6 weeks. We're not. We do not take a break. I might go on a vacation at some point, but we will still have videos every single day for you guys. I can promise you that. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and do not miss out. Okay, my first surprise cut candidate. How about Durham Smythe, the tight end who they signed actually right before free agency because he was cut by the Miami Dolphins, and the presumption was that he'd come in, be the third tight end. They'd end up getting a number 2 at some point, which they did in Colston Loveland, who could eventually be the number 1 on this team, obviously, with Cole Kmet in there for now. But as we talked about during OTA and minicamps, Joel Wilson has made a push. He has been a guy that has caught people's attention. Reporters have talked about him. Ben Johnson listed him among 4 players that stood out to him during mandatory minicamp and OTA, saying that he's made 1 or 2 really nice catches every single day. And I think the key for him making this team, Joel Wilson, and potentially pushing Durham Smythe out if they only keep 3 tight ends, is can he block? Because he's dealt with some injuries. He's bounced around practice squads. He's seems to be a good receiving tight end, but can he block? Well, the pads go on when training camp gets here and when the preseason games get here. So I think that'll be a good litmus test for Joel Wilson. If he passes that, checks that box, could be trouble for Durham Smythe. Now, I would tend to think that if Joel Wilson makes this team, that probably means they're keeping 4 tight ends, which means Durham Smythe could be safe. But if they only keep 3 and they really like Wilson, who knows? Maybe Smythe could be a surprise cut for Chicago. Okay, Travis Homer, I've got him listed as well. And look, when he got re-signed with this new coaching staff, that spoke volumes to me. That tells me that they have valued what he brings to the table. They like him in the locker room. Clearly, Richard Hightower is a big fan of what he brings to the table as a special teamer. But let's face it, he does not offer much offensively as a running back. He's pretty good in blitz pickup. He'll catch checkdowns. Sure, you can hand him the football, but he's not going to break a lot of tackles. He's not that dynamic in space. It helps him that this isn't the best running back room, but I still think the Bears could add to this position. Or if they just feel like someone like Kyle Monungai can replace his production on special teams, then that kind of frees up a roster spot, right? Because ideally, a player like Travis Homer, you don't see too many guys in today's NFL anymore, unless they're elite special teamers, that play on special teams but basically don't contribute anywhere else. Like, there are a few of them, but there aren't that many Matthew Slaters anymore where they're awesome on special teams, but they literally never see the field otherwise. Travis Homer occasionally was on the field last year, but ideally he never checks into the game at running back because he's just not that dynamic. So keep an eye on him. A lot of this will probably depend on if they add it back and how Roschon and Monungai look in camp, but it wouldn't completely shock me if Homer got cut. This one would be surprising, but I do want to include 5th-round pick from last year, Austin Booker, who I still like. I still think there's a lot of developmental traits there. He entered the draft probably a year earlier than he should have last year, which is why he fell to the 5th round. And this would certainly be a surprise, and I'm not advocating for it, and I don't necessarily think it'll happen. But in the conversation we had with Dio Adengbo, with Dominic Robinson getting some of those first-team reps, well, that's also a signal towards Austin Booker that, hey, is Dom Rob ahead of Austin Booker too? Like Adengbo, like that's a different story. We know Adengbo is going to be on the team. His first 2 years of his contract are basically fully guaranteed, so he's not going anywhere. If Dom Rob is further along than Booker, then at best, Booker's your 4th edge rusher right now. Now, could that change when the pads go on? Absolutely, but I was a little disappointed that we basically heard nothing about Austin Booker during the offseason program. Nothing. Did you listen to a single show, listen to a single reporter? Did any of the coaches, because I can't remember one mention Austin Booker at all during OTAs or minicamp? That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad sign, but typically if someone is doing good things, you're going to hear about it. Now, sometimes when you hear about a player, it's because of a negative thing, like Luther Burden getting injured or, XYZ reason, whatever the case may be. But a second-year player that should garner attention from reporters, nothing on Austin Booker. That's not great. I think you need to see this guy step up at camp. And look, maybe he's not a great fit with Dennis Allen. He's not, Dennis Allen likes those thicker, bigger edge rushers. He's long. He's got that length that Allen covets, but, that's one thing Dominic Robinson has that Booker doesn't. Dom Rob's thicker. He's a bigger guy coming off the edge than Booker. So big 6 weeks coming up for him to get into tip-top shape for training camp. And when those pads go on, he's going to need to stand out because it doesn't seem like he did during the offseason program. Do you still have high hopes for Austin Booker? Type Y for yes and for no. I never had crazy hopes, but I hope hey, he's got developmental traits. Can he be a solid rotation pass rusher? I still think that's possible. I still think that could be in the cards, but I also think it's fair to say that right now he's a relative unknown. We just do not know what he's going to bring to the table. What we bring to the table every single day is daily content, whether it's the latest news out there, reacting to a signing or a big rumor, a trade idea that is out there. Anything that is worthy of talking about around the Chicago Bears, we're going to break it down. I'm going to give my opinion on it here on the show. And when training camp gets here, it's going to be an absolute blast. So subscribe now. We got you covered until training camp, and then we even ramp up more. Okay, a couple more here. Jonathan Owens, I think it's a possibility. It would certainly be a mild surprise, but I do think he's the fourth safety right now. I think Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, and Elijah Hicks are your top three. Hicks getting good experience last year, better player on special teams than Owens. That matters as well. Brisker being back, he seems to be in a good place and healthy. I'm not saying you'd only carry three safeties. I think what would happen in this situation is Tarvarius Moore beats him out, maybe has more special teams value, or Major Burns or Tysheem Johnson, one of the rookie UDFAs. So keep an eye on Jonathan Owens. I could see one of the younger guys beating him out, especially if they have more special teams value. And I think something that's interesting too, Brisker, Byard, Owens, Hicks, all in the final year of their contract. So if one of these younger guys, especially one of the UDFAs who could be on a cheap 3-year UDFA contract, let's say if it's close with him and Owens, it might just from a contractual roster longevity standpoint, cost control, make sense to go with a Major Burns over a guy like Jonathan Owens. So don't know if that'll be the case, but it wouldn't shock me either. So definitely keeping an eye on the depth at safety because you could see some movement there. Okay, lastly, Devin Duvernay, who there were some reports, I know, who was it? Clay Harbor had a couple notes throughout OTAs. He thought Duvernay looked pretty good. Certainly with Burden out, he got some opportunities to work in the slot with the first-team offense, as did Olamide Zaccheaus. But I like Zaccheaus significantly more as a receiver. Now, Duvernay, former All-Pro as a punt returner. He can kick return as well. So if he's the best returner on this team, he's probably safe. He can play some receiver for you as well. But a lot of depth there, man. Tyler Scott, Miles Boykin, J.P. Richardson drew some good reviews and reports out of Bears OTAs and minicamp. I watched him a lot at TCU. By the way, really good punt returner. So, what if it's close between him and Duvernay? And again, you could opt with the 3-year UDFA contract who costs no money. Not that Duvernay costs a lot, but he's on a 1-year deal. If it's close, maybe you would go with a guy like J.P. Richardson to be this team's punt returner and to make this roster. So we'll see where it goes. Could Burden factor in as the returner of this football team? Certainly a possibility. So, again, these are surprise cut candidates. I would project Duvernay to make this team, but I don't think he's a lock by any means whatsoever. I think there's going to be a lot of competition both at receiver and to see who holds down those returner spots both on kick and punt team. Okay, name a surprise Bears cut candidate. Is there someone I'm missing? Is there a stunning one that you want to throw out there? Give us your thoughts down in the comments section below. My name is Harrison Graham. We will continue to pump out content here on Chicago Bears Now, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also turn on the notifications. That way you know exactly when we publish a video and when we go live. So be sure to do those things, and we will see you guys soon here on Bears Now.